Good day, everyone, and welcome to MAED 208, Advanced Educational Leadership in School Setting. I am very pleased to have all of you on this course. Now, as graduate students and present or future educational leaders, I hope that this subject will provide you not only with theories but leadership, no? But more importantly, with practical perspective that you can apply in your respective schools and educational institution. So when we talk about advanced educational leadership, we are not simply talking about holding a position such as principal, coordinator, supervisor, dean, or administrator. Leadership is about our capacity to influence people, create direction, make responsible decisions, and bring people together toward a shared educational purpose. Throughout this course, I encourage you to relate our discussions to your actual experiences in the workplace. Our guiding idea for this course is leadership for school transformation and institutional excellence. So by the end of the semester, I hope that you will see leadership not merely as authority, but as a responsibility to develop people, strengthen institution, improve learning, and create meaningful and sustainable change. Okay, so before we proceed to the individual modules, allow me to give you an overview of the course. Now, this subject is designed to provide an advanced understanding of educational leadership within actual school setting. We will examine leadership from several perspectives. Leadership itself, no? Its impact on the institution, and how we can integrate what we learn into meaningful leadership practices. Our leadership focus will help us understand how leaders provide direction, influence people, and establish organizational priorities. But leadership becomes meaningful only when it produces institutional impact. Therefore, we will constantly connect our discussion to school improvement, organizational effectiveness, teaching and learning, employee development, and student success. Finally, we have an integrative output because I do not want this course to end with theories alone. You will be challenged to apply what you learn through the different academic requirements and ultimately demonstrate how educational leadership concept can be transformed into practical institutional initiative. Let us now look at what you should be able to accomplish by the end of this course. These learning outcomes serve as our direction. We will be given by analyzing leadership theories and perspectives, evaluating different leadership styles, and understanding how leadership influences teaching, learning, people, organizational culture, and institutional performance. As we progress, no, you will also learn how to apply instructional and transformational leadership, demonstrate ethical leadership, build positive school culture, use strategic planning, develop teacher and personnel, engage stakeholders, and use evidence and data when making decisions. And these competencies are particularly important because educational leaders today operate in increasingly complex environment. More importantly, the course will require you to integrate these competencies. Knowing individual leadership concept is not enough. No? An effective educational leader must know when, where, why, and how to apply them. At the end of the course, you should therefore be capable of translating leadership knowledge into a comprehensive plan for institutional development. This slide presents our leadership learning journey. I want you to look at this course as progression rather than simply a collection of separate topics. We begin with the foundation where we establish our understanding of educational leaderships and its theories. No? Without a strong foundation, it becomes difficult to understand the more complex dimension of a leadership. So when we then move into systems where we examine how leadership interacts with organizational structures, strategic planning, school culture, human resources, and decision making. After that comes engagement, where leadership becomes more relational. We deal with the stakeholders, communication, collaboration, change, conflict, technology, and innovation. And finally, we reach stewardship. No? At this level, leadership is about responsibility, no? Sustaining or sustainability, governance, inclusion, resources, and individual improvement. So our journey is essentially foundation, system, engagement, and stewardship. These 16 modules are interconnected and will lead and will gradually build your capacity as educational leader. So our module 1, no? For our first module, we begin with the foundation of educational leadership. We will clarify the meaning, nature, and scope of leadership and examine the roles and responsibilities of educational leaders. One important distinction that we will discuss is the difference between leadership and management. They are closely related, but they are not exactly the same. We will also examine how educational leadership has evolved over time and how contemporary challenges have changed what we expect from school leaders. Today's educational leaders deal with technology, diversity, accountability, changing learner needs, institutional competition, and of course, rapidly changing educational environments. Your applied output for this module will involve a leadership self-assessment and reflective analysis. I want you to begin by examining yourself. No? What kind of leader are you? What are your strengths? Where do you need further development? Because again, leadership development becomes more meaningful when it begins with self-awareness. Module 2, we examine different leadership theories, models, and styles. Now, we will discuss classical and behavioral theories. No? Situational and contingency leadership, transformational and transactional leadership, servant leadership, distributed leadership, adapted leadership, authentic leadership, and strategic leadership. One important point I want you to remember is that there is no single leadership style that is effective in every situation. I reminded everyone a highly effective approach is one school may not necessarily produce the same results in another. Leadership must consider the people involved, the organizational culture, the problem being addressed, available resources, and the environment. For your applied output, you will conduct a comparative analysis of leadership theories and determine how particular approaches can be applied to actual educational situation. Rather than memorizing definition, I want you to develop the ability to ask, given this situation, what leadership approach would be most appropriate and why? Module 3 brings us directly to the heart of education. Siyempre, andyan yung teaching and learning. Regardless of our administrative responsibility, we should never forget that the primary purpose of an educational institution is learning. Instructional leadership therefore focuses on how leaders improve curriculum, instruction, assessment, supervision, and ultimately student outcomes. We will discuss classroom observation, constructive feedback, teacher coaching and mentoring, curriculum leadership, professional learning, communities, and the use of assessment information to improve learning. Effective instructional leaders do not simply evaluate teachers, They help teachers become better professionals. So, for your applied output, you will develop an instructional leadership intervention addressing an identified teaching and learning concern. I encourage you to select a realistic issue, perhaps student performance, instructional strategies, assessment practices, faculty development, or curriculum implementation, and a proposed leadership response. Leadership always involve values. No po? So in Module 4, we examine transformational, ethical, and values-based educational leadership. Excuse me. Transformational leaders inspire people to move beyond minimum expectations and work towards a meaningful shared vision. However, transformation without ethics can become dangerous. Educational leaders exercise authority over people, resources, policies, and opportunities. Therefore, we must discuss integrity, accountability, transparency, equity, inclusion, trust, credibility, and ethical decision making. Your applied output will be an analysis of an ethical leadership dilemma. You will examine the situation, identifying competing interests or values, and formulate an appropriate leadership response. Remember, sometimes the most difficult leadership decisions are not simply between right and wrong, but between competing responsibility that require careful judgment. Module 5 focuses on strategic leadership and school improvement planning. Educational leader cannot simply respond to problems as they arise. We need to anticipate future needs, establish priorities, allocate resources, and provide clear institutional direction. So, we will explore strategic thinking, environmental scanning, SWOT analysis, vision and mission alignment, goal formulation, resource allocation, performance indicators, and monitoring. Strategic planning is not merely producing a documents, ha. A strategic plan becomes meaningful only when it guides actual institutional decisions and actions. So, for your applied output, you will prepare a strategic analysis and preliminary school improvement plan. I encourage you to connect this activity to a real situation and your institution whenever possible, because the best way to understand strategic leadership is to apply it to authentic organizational conditions. Okay, so how about module number 6? Momo, thank you. Okay, so in module 6, no, we examine school culture and organizational climate. Sometimes we focus so much on structures, policies, and procedures that we forget the human environment of the institution. Culture influences how people communicate, collaborate, solve problems, respond to change, and perform their responsibilities. We will discuss organizational values, beliefs, norms, teacher morale, employee engagement, professional learning communities, collaborative leadership, and high-performing teams. A positive school culture cannot simply be ordered by the administration. It develops through consistent leadership behavior and shared experiences. Your applied activity will involve assessing organizational culture and recommending strategies to strengthen collaboration and professional engagement. As you complete this activity, consider what behaviors your institutions currently reward, tolerates, or discourage. This often reveals the true culture of an organization. Module 7. Again, schools cannot achieve excellence without competent and committed people. Module 7, therefore, focuses on human resource leadership and talent development. We will examine recruitment, selection, faculty orientation, performance management, training, coaching, mentoring, employee motivation, succession planning, and the most important is staff well-being. An important responsibility of educational leader is to develop other people. Leadership should not create followers who depend entirely on one administrator. Strong leadership creates additional leaders and builds organizational capacity that remains even when individuals eventually leave the institution. So for your output, you will develop a professional development and leadership capacity building program. Think about how your institution can systematically identify potential, address competency gaps, recognize performance, and develop future leaders and retain talented. Educational leadership involve making decisions every day, but effective decisions should not depend entirely on intuition or personal preference. Module 8 introduces data-driven and evidence-based leadership. Excuse. We will examine educational data, learning analytics, performance indicators, institutional effectiveness, accountability, quality assurance, research findings, and monitoring and evaluation. Data become useful when leaders can interpret them correctly and transform them into meaningful action. Your task will be to analyze school performance data and formulate evidence-based recommendation. When we identify a problem, we should be able to support our conclusion with evidence. In graduate education rather, and particularly in leadership, we want to move from I think this is the problem toward the evidence indicates this is the problem and therefore this intervention is appropriate. Module 9, no school operates in isolation po. Tama po ba? So Module 9 focuses on stakeholder engagement, communication, and community leadership. Our stakeholders include students, faculty, staff, parents, alumni, government agencies, industry partners, communities, and other organizations. We will discuss strategic communication, interpersonal communication, stakeholder mapping, participatory leadership, collaborative governance, partnership, community engagement, networking, and school reputation. No? Effective leaders must be able not only to communicate information but also to listen, negotiate, build relationship, and create trust. Your applied output will be a stakeholder engagement and communication plan. The challenge is to identify who your stakeholders are, what they need, how much influence they have, and how the institution can meaningfully involve them in achieving educational objective. Change is unavoidable in educational institution. Module 10 therefore examine how leaders manage change, conflict, risk, and crisis. Whether we are implementing a new curriculum, introducing technology, restructuring an office, or responding to an emergency, leadership becomes particularly important during uncertainty. We will discuss resistance to change, conflict management, negotiation, mediation, risk assessment, crisis leadership, emergency preparedness, continuity planning, organizational resilience, and crisis communication. Resistance should not always be interpreted simply as disobedience. Sometimes people resist because they lack information, feel threatened, or do not understand the purpose of the change. Your applied output will be a change management or crisis response scenario and action plan. The objective is to demonstrate how an educational leader can remain strategic, responsible, and responsive even under difficult circumstances. Technology has significantly changed the educational environment. So, Module 11 focuses on digital leadership and innovation. We will examine digital transformation, educational technology, artificial intelligence, learning and management systems, digital platforms, data privacy, cybersecurity awareness, digital citizens, and innovation culture. So digital leadership does not mean purchasing the latest technology. Technology must solve a problem, improve a process, enhance teaching and learning, or create institutional value. Leaders therefore need to understand both the opportunities and the risks associated with technology. Your output will be a digital transformation or educational innovation proposal. I encourage you to identify an actual institutional need first, then determine that technology or innovation can appropriately address it. In other words, begin with the educational problem, not with the technology. Module 12 asks us to look forward or toward the future of educational leadership. Educational institutions are operating in an environment shaped by globalization, technological disruption, sustainability concern, changing workforce requirements, and evolving learner expectation. We will examine future-ready leadership competencies, internationalization, resilience, sustainability, innovation, succession, continuous improvement, and personal leadership philosophy. The question becomes, what kind of educational leader will our institution need 5, 10, or even 20 years from now? So your applied output is an integrated school leadership and institutional development plan. This is where you begin connecting the different dimension of leadership. We have studied into a coherent approach for institutional improvement. In Module 13, we focus on educational governance, policy, and the legal dimension of leadership. Leaders operate within system of authority, regulation, accountability, and institutional policy. Therefore, leadership decision must not only be effective, they must also be responsible and compliant. We will discuss governance structures, national and local educational authorities, policy development and implementation, legal responsibilities, due process, child protection, data privacy, institutional compliance, and ethical and legal challenges. For your output, you will prepare a policy analysis and leadership recommendation paper. I want you to examine not only what a policy says, but also how it affects institutional operation, employees, learners, and leadership decision-making. Module 14, educational leadership must serve all learners. So Module 14 therefore deals with inclusion, equity, diversity, and learner well-being. We will examine how leaders create learning environments where differences are respected and where barriers to participation in success are addressed. We will discuss culturally responsive leadership, inclusive education, student voice, child protection, anti-bullying initiative, psychological well-being, educational access, gender responsiveness, and leadership for social justice. Your applied activity will be an equity and inclusion assessment, followed by an inclusive school leadership action plan. The central question is simply but important, are our institutional system giving every learner a meaningful opportunity to succeed? Leadership also involves stewardship of institutional resources. Module 15 focuses on financial leadership, resource management, and sustainability. Education leaders frequently work with limited resources, making prioritization essential. We will discuss budgeting, financial planning, resource allocation, procurement, accountability, infrastructure, technology resources, alternative funding, partnership development, and sustainability. Effective financial leadership is not simply about reducing expenses. It is about ensuring that resources support institutional priorities. For your applied output, you will prepare a resource allocation and sustainability plan. You will demonstrate how available resources can be strategically distributed to support teaching, learning, institutional development, and long-term sustainability. Our final content module integrates leadership with research, benchmarking, reflection, and continuous professional development. They must continuously examine evidence, study good practices, assess their performance, and identify opportunities for improvement. We will discuss action research, research-informed leadership, benchmarking, performance gaps, local and international best practices, leadership competency assessment, professional development, leadership philosophy, and portfolio development. Your major output for this module will be an educational leadership development portfolio and personal leadership development roadmap. This should demonstrate not only what you learn in this course, but also how you intend to continue developing yourself as an educational leader. Let us now discuss your major course requirements. You will have an assigned module presentation, a pre-recorded video presentation, a narrative report, leadership case analysis, individual or group learning activities, midterm exam, final examination, a school leadership and institutional improvement plan, and the final oral presentation of your leadership development plan. And these requirements are designed to assess different competencies. Your presentation develops communication and mastery of content. Your narrative report develop academic writing. Your case analysis develop judgment and critical thinking. And your examination assess your understanding of the major concept. The integrative requirements, particularly the leadership or the school leadership and institutional improvement plan, allow you to demonstrate application. Please do not treat these requirements merely as activities for compliance. Approach is one as an important opportunity to develop something that may eventually become useful in your own professional setting. For your narrative report, please allow the framework presented on this slide. Begin with the title page and learning objectives, followed by the introduction rather, and comprehensive discussion of the major concept and subtopics assigned to you. You should then demonstrate application by including leadership cases or example, followed by the key takeaways, summary and conclusion, and lesson assignment. Your report should also contain properly documented references using EPA 7th edition. I encourage you to make your report analytical rather than merely descriptive. Do not simply collect definitions from different sources. Synthesize the literature, connect concept, provide example, and demonstrate how the topic applies to actual educational leadership situation. This slide captures one of the most important goals of the entire courses, moving from leadership insight to institutional impact. We begin by diagnosing, before proposing a solution. An educational leader must understand the problem, gather evidence, identify its causes, and determine the institution's actual performance gap. Second, we design, and this means translating leadership theory into a workable strategy. Your intervention should have clear objectives, appropriate activities, responsible persons, resources, timelines, and measures of success. A good leadership proposal should be both evidence-based and realistic. Finally, we demonstrate. Leadership should produce observable results. Your final output should therefore show how the proposed intervention can improve institutional performance, teaching, and learning, stakeholder engagement, organizational capacity, or another identified area of school effectiveness. Our sequence is therefore diagnose, design, and demonstrate. This slide presents the textbook and professional references that will support our discussion throughout the semester. Graduate level learning should not rely solely on PowerPoint presentation or classroom discussion. You are expected to engage with books, scholarly articles, research studies, policies, professional literature, and other credible academic sources. When preparing your reports and presentation, please avoid relying on only one source. Compare perspective and examine recent research whenever possible. Educational leadership is continuously evolving, so our understanding should be informed by both foundational leadership, literature, and contemporary education scholarship. Most importantly, practice responsible academic work. Cite your sources properly, acknowledge the ideas of other authors, and use EPA 7th edition consistently. Your credibility as a graduate student and educational leader is strengthened when your recommendations are supported by reliable evidence. So, as we conclude our course orientation, I would like you to remember the message on this final slide. Lead with purpose, transform with evidence. Leadership begins with a purpose because we need to understand why we lead and whom our leadership is intended to serve. In education, that purpose ultimately connects to learners, teachers, communities, and the continuing improvement of our institution. At the same time, transformation must be supported by evidence. Good intentions alone are not enough. As advanced graduate students and educational leaders, we should be able to demonstrate that our decision, interventions, and recommendation are grounded in research, institutional data, professional experiences, and responsible judgment. I look forward to learning with all of you throughout this course. I encourage you to participate actively, share your professional experiences, ask questions, challenge ideas respectfully, and learn from one another. So, class, may this course help each of you become not simply a person who holds a leadership position, but an educational leader who creates meaningful, ethical, evidence-based, and sustainable transformation. Thank you, everyone, and hope we have a productive and meaningful semester ahead. Okay, so next meeting, as I already posted, your topic assignment. So the discussant may prepare your presentation. And again, during the presentation, first I will give an introduction of the topic. Then I will give time to the presenter. Then after the presentation, I will give a gist, no, or a summary. If I need to add inputs, no, so I will do so. Okay? So congratulations in advance and have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Stay safe po. Bye-bye.